You did the thing you wanted, maybe for years. You left the marriage, or you got the promotion, or you finally moved to the city, bought the house, ended the relationship that was quietly eroding you. And for a little while, a week, a month, it felt the way you thought it would. And then it didn't. Now you're standing in the life you fought so hard for, and there's this quiet, embarrassing feeling you can't quite find the words for because you're not allowed to feel it. You got what you wanted. You were supposed to be grateful, but beneath the gratitude, there's something flat, something hollow. And the worst part isn't the emptiness itself. It's the second thought, the one that comes right after. If getting what I wanted didn't fix it, then maybe something is wrong with me. I want to tell you why that feeling exists, because it is not a character flaw and it is not ingratitude. It's a mechanism. Actually, there are four of them. And once you see which one you're in, the feeling stops being a verdict and starts being information. So let's get into it. Here's the first thing I need to take apart. The sentence, "You got everything you wanted," assumes that wanting is simple, that there's a clear thing. You want it, you get it, you feel satisfied, input, output. But wanting isn't simple. Wanting is one of the most layered things a human mind does. And when people feel empty after achievement, it's almost never because the achievement failed. It's because the want was never what they thought it was. So I'm going to give you 4 different things that "I want this" can actually mean. 4 mechanisms. As I go through them, I want you to notice which one makes your stomach drop a little bit. That one's yours. Maybe 2 or more of them are. You don't need a notebook for this. You'll know exactly which one it is as soon as you hear it. So the first one is the most common and the hardest to see because it's invisible from the inside. Some of the things you want, you didn't choose. You absorbed them. You absorbed them from a parent who made it clear what a successful daughter looked like, from a culture that handed you a timeline. Marriage by this age, house by that one. And from religion, from your peer group, from a version of you that existed 15 years ago and never got a vote on who you became. These goals don't feel inherited. That's the trick of it. They feel like yours because they've been in your head so long, you can't remember actually installing them. So you pursue the goal, you achieve it, and here's the mechanism. Achievement satisfied whoever the goal belonged to. And if the goal wasn't yours, the satisfaction isn't yours either. You did all the work. Someone else's psyche, your mother, your 20-year-old self, the cultures gets the payoff. And you're left holding the receipt for a purchase you didn't really want to make. So here's the test. Picture the achievement. Now ask whose voice says good job. If you can hear the approval, but it's someone else's voice, a parent, a mentor, a society, you achieved an inherited goal. The emptiness is the gap between the work you did and the person it actually served. This shows up constantly in big life disruptions. A woman leaves a marriage, everyone told her to leave, and feels hollow because the leaving was also inherited, just from a different crowd. The direction changed, the authorship didn't. The second mechanism, this one is subtle and it's almost universal. You didn't want the divorce. You didn't want the promotion or the move or the new body or the relationship. You wanted what you believed those things would make you feel. Nobody wants a corner office. They want the feeling they imagine arrives with it. I'm finally enough. I can stop proving myself. Nobody wants a divorce. They want to feel free or calm or like themselves again. The external thing is a proxy. It's a stand-in for an internal state. And here's the mechanism. And it's almost a law. An external change cannot by itself deliver an internal state. The office cannot make you feel enough. The divorce cannot make you feel free. They can remove obstacles to those feelings. That's real. That matters, but they can't install the feeling. The feeling is generated internally or it isn't generated at all. So you get the thing is delivered exactly as promised, and the feeling doesn't come because the thing was never the mechanism for the feeling. That's the emptiness. It's the silence of where the internal state was supposed to be auto-delivered and wasn't. The test for this one, ask yourself, when I wanted this, what did I picture myself feeling once I had it? Name that feeling. Is it safety, freedom, worth, peace? Now you know what you were actually after. The thing was just the costume it was wearing, and the real work, the thing it couldn't do, is learning to generate that feeling directly. That's not a consolation prize. That's the actual assignment. Third mechanism. This is the deepest one, and it's the one almost nobody actually talks about. While you were pursuing the goal, the pursuit was doing a second job for you that you didn't really notice. It was organizing your identity. Think about what a long pursuit gives you. It gives you a reason to get up. It gives you a way to answer, hey, what are you working on? It gives you a story with a clear protagonist. I'm someone becoming. It gives you a direction. So every day has a forward movement. The pursuit was the scaffolding. It held the shape of you in place, and then you achieve the goal, and the scaffolding comes down. And psychologists call the letdown the arrival fallacy. The belief that arriving will feel like a permanent destination when it doesn't. But I think that framing is too small. It's not just that arriving disappoints, it's that arriving removes the structure that was holding you up. The day after you achieve the big thing, you don't just lack a goal, you lack the scaffolding the goal was secretly providing. The forward is gone. The story has no next chapter. And you stand there in a strange, quiet vertigo and you call it emptiness, but it's actually closer to structural. You haven't lost a goal. You've lost a temporary identity and you haven't built a permanent one yet. This is the mechanism behind something I see all the time, the disruption itself. The divorce, the move, the pivot was the project. It had tasks, lawyers, boxes, hard conversations, logistics. The project held you together while you were inside of it. And then the project ends. The papers are signed, the boxes are unpacked, and that's when the floor drops. Not during the hard part, it's after it. Because the hard part was scaffolding too. If you've ever wondered why you fell apart after the crisis was handled instead of during the crisis, this is why. You didn't fall apart because you're weak. You fell apart because the structure that was holding you finished its job and left. Now the fourth and final mechanism. And this is the one I want you to leave with because unlike the others, it has a built-in expiration date. You got the thing, your external reality changed instantly. The day it happened, the marriage ended on a Tuesday, the job started on a Monday. The change to your circumstances was a switch flipping. But your self-concept, the internal sense of who you are, does not update on a switch. It updates slowly. It updates the way a map gets redrawn, edge by edge, over months. So for a stretch of time, there's this gap. Your circumstances belong to the new life. Your identity still belongs to the old one. You are functionally a divorced woman still running the self-concept of a wife, a leader still running the self-concept of a person who wanted to be chosen, a person in the new city still organized around the old one. That gap, that lag, feels like emptiness, but it isn't. It's transition. It's the in-between time when the old identity has been evicted and the new one hasn't moved in yet. And here's why this matters more than any of the other three. The inherited goal, the proxy goal, the dissolved scaffolding, those require work to resolve, like real work. But identity lag partly resolves on its own, with time and with attention. The new self-concept does move in. Your job is not to force it. Is to stop interpreting the lag as a permanent state because that's the real damage. Not the emptiness, but the story you tell about the emptiness. Something is wrong with me. I made a mistake. I'll always feel this way. You won't. You're in the lag and the lag ends. So let's put it back together. The empty feeling after you got what you wanted is not a sign you wanted the wrong thing. It's not ingratitude. It's not a flaw. It's one of four mechanisms, and now you can name yours. Maybe you achieved a goal that was never yours to begin with. Maybe you wanted a feeling, and the thing was only ever a costume for it. Maybe the pursuit was holding your identity together, and achieving it took the scaffolding down. Or maybe you're simply in the lag. New life, old self, and the map hasn't finished redrawing. Here's a reframe I'll leave you with. The emptiness is not the problem. The emptiness is the signal. It's the part of you that knows that the external change was only step one. And that step two, the internal one, the one where you actually become the person who lives this life, hasn't been done yet. And that feeling isn't telling you that you've failed. It's telling you where the real work is. That internal work, figuring out who you are on the other side of a life that no longer matches your old self-concept, is exactly what I do with the women that I coach. And if that's where you are right now, there's a link below, no pressure, wherever you go from here. Stop treating the emptiness as a verdict. It's not the end of something. It's a question you haven't answered yet. All right, I will see you in the next